So, you've probably clicked on this video because you want to know how to deal more damage on Hypixel Skyblock. That's exactly what we're going to go over today. Let's have a look. So the first tip I've got for you guys is Reforges. Reforges are essential in Skyblock and will give you a lot more damage. So if you're in the hub, come over to near the auction house, and it's just to the right of the auction house, come over to the blacksmith, and if you click on the blacksmith, he will let you reforge your item. It does come at a cost, 1,000 on rare, and it depends on the rarity of the item. Sometimes it can get expensive to get the right reforge. So if you're looking for a weapon, you're always looking for spicy because it gives you the most crit damage, and also a strength bonus as well. So for a weapon, you want to be looking for spicy. It gives you more damage. For armor, you want to reforge until you find fierce. Right here, quite lucky to get it so early, and it gives you a crit damage buff and a strength buff and a crit chance buff. So that's the best for damaging. You'll see a massive, drastic increase in your damage if you reforge all of your armor and your weapon. The next tip that I've got seems very, very simple. If you come over here to the auction house, it's just by getting the right enchantments for your weapon, really. Essentially, you definitely need sharpness on, no matter what weapon it is that you are using. Sharpness always gives you a massive increase in damage. If you come over to change the books, get a sharpness 5 book. So it gives you 25% increase in melee damage. Obviously, if you're starting off, this is a fairly affordable book, 20,000 coins, it's well worth it. You can get higher, so you can get sharpness 6, sharpness 7, but it's way too expensive at the start of the game. So I would stick to sharpness 5, it gives you a massive increase, along with a lot of other enchantments in the game. If you can see fully enchanted books or fully enchanted weapons, then let me try and find one. All of those enchantments are going to increase your damage in one way or another. So it's all about finding the right enchantments for your weapon in particular. The next tip is pets. You need to get a good pet, purely because they can give you a lot of damage increase. When you're starting off at the start of the game, an Enderman pet is a good option, definitely. It increases your crit damage a lot. Even if you just get a common Enderman pet, you can increase your crit damage a massive amount. Although, if you have around the 1 million coin mark, I would definitely recommend going for the Griffin pet, because as you can see, not only does it give you a lot of crit damage, not quite as much as an Enderman would if it was the same level, but it gives you a lot of crit damage, a lot of strength, increases your damage a lot, and look at all the other buffs it gives you as well. Permanent strength 7, regen 5, so this is a really, really, really good pet to have. Early game especially, it will boost you massively. If not, an Enderman pet is second best really, and you'll see a drastic increase in your damage once you've got one of these. So the next tip is going to be accessories and talismans. These are probably the most important part to dealing more damage, I've got to say. So you have an accessories bag in the bottom right corner when you click the Nether Star. You click on there, and that's where you can store all of your accessories and talismans. If you don't know what an accessory or a talisman is, it's essentially a little relic that gives you buffs of any sort of stat. So it's important once you actually get these talismans that you reforge them in the same way that you would a piece of armor or a weapon. As you can see, I've got all of my talismans at the moment on Hurtful purely because it gives me the most crit damage possible. And as you can see, I don't have all the talismans. There is a balance, so some of the talismans you should have on the strong because it gives you the strength boost, which will in turn increase your damage. But it's finding that right sort of balance for your sort of level, and just knowing how many talismans you've got and what's going to do the best for you. In all honesty, this probably is not the most efficient setup for me, but this is just how I've got it at the moment, and I'm keeping it like that for now because it seems I do deal a fair amount of damage, so I'm quite happy with it. But I'll show you the simplest talismans to get. If you're at the hub, you want to just run over near the bazaar to this guy here, the adventurer, and he will sell you the simple 6 talismans that won't set you back too many coins, probably about 25-30k. That's it. You reforge all these talismans to Hurtful and you're getting crit damage increases straight away. For those of you who don't know how to actually check your crit damage, you'll come over here to your Nether Star, give it a right click and hover over your Skyblock profile. So at the moment I've got 267% crit damage, 45% crit chance, which basically means, well, it's quite self-explanatory, the percentage of time when you hit you're going to get a crit hit. Really you want that on 100%, but I know it's very hard to get there when you're at the start of the game. It does seem daunting. So if I go and equip my armour that I will do the most damage in. And I go to my ender chest and get the sword that I would usually use to do the most damage. And I actually hold the sword, press E, and then click on the Nether Star. And you can see I'm doing 555% crit damage. So that's a massive increase. And if we also go over here to our pet and equip our Griffin pet and do the same thing, as you can see, 604% crit damage. So you see how it stacks. 100% crit chance as well. So that gives you a brief overview of how you can check your damage also, as well as being able to increase it. So if you turn around when you're at your hub and take the first right, you'll come to the zombie graveyard. This is basically where you can just test your damage on some regular zombies. So this particular weapon, I've got 53k damage, although if you do hit in the back, as you can see, 120k damage. So your damage does increase with this weapon in particular, but I'll be using an aspect of the end, which is probably it's a starter weapon, but a lot of people just use it purely for the teleport ability. If you've not got yourself one of these, then I would definitely urge you to get one. They're not a massively expensive investment, but once you've got the right reforge on them, they do a lot of damage for an early game player. I have the heroic reforge on it just purely because it gives you more mana, which lets me teleport more. So then if we go over here, if we don't get our kill stolen, as you can see it does 18k damage, and you got to bear in mind that's with my armor set and my talismans as well. So that just gives you a brief idea of how much damage you could possibly be doing, and especially with this weapon as well. It's not even got sharpness on it, it's got smite, and it's not got a lot of enchantments on this. This is very much a starter weapon with the starter enchantments. So this is where you can come and test your damage and fiddle around with all your accessories and see what works best for you. So this was just a brief overview for early game players how to deal more damage. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.